According to the ancient Sumerians, one of the earliest and most sophisticated civilizations known to history, human beings were not created by chance or divine love, but through deliberate engineering by powerful sky beings called the Anunnaki. These beings, described in thousands of clay tablets found in Mesopotamia, were portrayed not as mythical spirits, but as physical deities who came from beyond the stars, specifically from a mysterious planet known as Nibiru. The myth begins with the Anunnaki arriving on Earth in the distant past, long before the dawn of modern humanity. Their purpose was not spiritual guidance or benevolent guardianship. They came with a mission, to mine gold. Their own planet, Nibiru, was experiencing a severe atmospheric decline, and the only known solution was to suspend gold particles in the atmosphere to shield it from destruction. Earth, abundant in this rare and valuable metal, became their target. The Anunnaki established their first settlements in the region we now call southern Mesopotamia. The city of Eridu was among the first of these colonies, referred to by the Sumerians as the first city on Earth. From this base, they launched extensive mining operations, particularly in the mineral-rich areas of southern Africa. Initially, the Anunnaki themselves, particularly the lower-ranking workers known as the Igigi, undertook the hard labor of mining. They toiled for thousands of years under harsh and grueling conditions. Eventually, the burden became too great. The Igigi, overwhelmed by exhaustion and discontent, revolted. According to the texts, they abandoned their posts, confronted the higher gods, and demanded relief. This uprising marked a pivotal moment in Sumerian mythology. The rebellion forced the Anunnaki leadership to seek a solution that would preserve their mission while avoiding further unrest among their own ranks. Enki, the Anunnaki god of wisdom, science, and creation, proposed an unprecedented idea, to create a new life form, a hybrid being that would serve the Anunnaki by taking over the labor-intensive mining duties. This new being would be intelligent enough to follow instructions but physically suited for hard work. It would be part divine, part earthly. To realize this vision, Enki and Ninhursag, the goddess associated with birth and fertility, began genetic experimentation. The Sumerian texts describe the mixing of divine essence with the clay of the earth, which many modern theorists interpret as a symbolic reference to genetic engineering. The process was not without challenges. Early attempts to create a viable human prototype resulted in failure. Some beings were physically deformed, others were incapable of speech or reproduction. After many iterations, a successful model was achieved. The result was a new species, Homo sapiens, referred to in the Sumerian texts as the Lulu Amalu, meaning the mixed worker, or primitive worker. These early humans were capable of following orders and engaging in physical labor. More importantly, they were fertile, allowing the population to grow naturally over time without continued intervention from the gods. The newly created humans were deployed to the mines and to the fields. They became the backbone of the Anunnaki's earth-based operations. While some Anunnaki, such as Enlil, saw humans strictly as tools for labor, others, particularly Enki, began to view them with a sense of responsibility and curiosity. Over time, humans were introduced to basic skills and knowledge, agriculture, animal husbandry, irrigation, and eventually writing and mathematics. The cities of Mesopotamia grew. Humans began building temples, storing grains, constructing homes, and organizing into complex societies. Though they were originally created for labor, humanity evolved rapidly under the indirect guidance of the Anunnaki. As human numbers grew and their culture developed, the noise and energy of their activity began to draw attention from the higher gods once more. Enlil, the chief authority of Earth operations, became increasingly disturbed by the proliferation of humanity. According to the tablets, he believed that humans were becoming too numerous and disruptive. To address the perceived overpopulation and disobedience, he devised a series of catastrophic events, plagues, droughts, and famine, to curb the human population. These events, however, failed to destroy the species entirely. Eventually, Enlil decided that a complete reset was necessary. He planned to unleash a massive deluge, a great flood, to cleanse the earth of humans once and for all. The Anunnaki swore an oath not to warn mankind of the coming disaster. But Enki, who had grown sympathetic to the humans, chose to secretly break this oath. He found a righteous man, Zayusidra, as named in the Sumerian version, and instructed him to build a large boat to preserve life. Zayusidra followed the instructions carefully, constructing a vessel that would carry his family, animals, and the seeds of the future. When the floodwaters came, the earth was devastated. Entire cities were wiped out, and most of humanity perished. After the flood receded, the surviving humans and animals repopulate the land. Enlil, upon seeing that life had endured, was at first furious, but he eventually came to accept the outcome. Moved by the devotion and resilience of the survivors, he agreed to allow humanity to continue. Zayusidra was granted immortality and taken to dwell among the gods. Following the flood, a new era began. The Anunnaki established kingship on earth to maintain order and structure among humans. According to the Sumerian king list, this kingship was lowered from heaven, and the earliest dynasties ruled for astonishingly long periods, some for tens of thousands of years. The kings served as intermediaries between the gods and mankind, enforcing divine law and managing Earth's resources. Over time, however, the Anunnaki began to withdraw from active participation in human affairs. Whether due to mission completion, internal disagreements, or the changing orbit of Nibiru, they slowly disappeared from the public life of humanity. Their cities were abandoned. Their temples fell silent, but their influence remained. The knowledge they had given, writing, architecture, astronomy, and metallurgy, laid the foundation for future civilizations. The legacy of the Anunnaki continued through myth, religion, and legend. Stories of sky gods, divine punishments, floods, and sacred knowledge spread throughout the ancient world, from Sumer to Babylon, from Egypt to the Indus Valley, and beyond. In later ages, their memory transformed. The Anunnaki became gods of the underworld, then were absorbed into other pantheons, or forgotten altogether. But the echoes of their story endured. Elements of the Anunnaki myth appear in the Hebrew Bible, where Adam is formed from clay, where angels descend from the heavens, and where a great flood wipes out humankind. Similar tales exist in Mesoamerica, Africa, China, and Polynesia, suggesting a common memory of ancient beings who created mankind and then vanished. Modern scholars interpret the Anunnaki as mythological archetypes, metaphors for the forces of nature, or symbolic rulers of early society. But others propose an alternative theory, that the Sumerians were describing real events and real visitors from beyond Earth. According to this perspective, humanity's sudden leap in intelligence and civilization may not have been a natural evolution, but the result of intervention by an advanced extraterrestrial race. Regardless of one's beliefs, the story recorded in the Sumerian tablets presents a vision of human origin that is radically different from the traditional narratives. It challenges assumptions about creation, evolution, and the nature of the divine. It suggests that we were made with intention, not for enlightenment, but for labor. And yet, through learning, adaptation, and resilience, we became more than what we were designed to be. In the end, the story of the Anunnaki is not merely about gods and gold, or genetic experiments and floods. It is a story about identity, about where we come from, about who we are, and perhaps, about where we're going. The clay tablets of ancient Sumer remain silent now, buried beneath layers of earth and time. But their message endures, A message that whispers through myths, religions, and dreams, that humanity may not be alone in the universe, and that our origin may be far stranger than we ever imagined.